Okay, let's see if Instagram plays nicely this time. Because I have things that I want to say. I gotta get this stuff off my chest before I make this phone call. So y'all are my glimpse of sanity for 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Now it's working. Thank you. Before it wasn't giving what I needed. I need to get this off my chest before I make this phone call so that I can keep it cute. Okay? I gotta get this off my chest. So, clearly, for the last 10 years, I've been doing development, real estate, investing, managing contractors, right? Dealing with, very large construction. Hey, dealing with large construction projects. Very first project. Okay, y'all are here. See, I couldn't see this when I was on here last time, and it was given I'm talking to myself, and I could do that alone. So we've been doing large construction projects literally for the entire 10 years. So the very first project we ever did was a $120,000 renovation. I've worked with contractors consistently on large projects throughout. And yes, it is me and Khalil both, but best believe there was plenty of times, plenty of days, plenty of projects that I ran on my own. I am very comfortable on a job site. I'm very comfortable talking to contractors. I'm very comfortable handling my own, period. And I think sometimes, people are sexist and automatically assume how things work. Hey, new follower, how are you? So Styles Unlimited, what's up? Hey, Impact Fitness. Hey. So I have to get this off my chest before I make a phone call so that I can bring it back. Okay. So for the last 10 years, been doing construction, working with contractors, dealing with all kinds of stuff. I've been through it all when it comes to construction, contractors, tenants, sellers, buyers, everything. Okay. Lenders, literally been through a lot. So me being on the as an owner now of a construction company, which I know a lot of y'all may not know that because we don't really share on social, because the only people who have access to our construction company are our mentees, our students in Next Gen, and folks who are already familiar with who the company is and what they've been doing because we came involved in a company that already existed. So anyway, there's something so interesting about being on the other side of the table with an investor or developer. And this is me saying that as someone who very openly will talk about squaring up with construction workers, with contractors, right? We'll talk about fighting with them, talking about joking around and say one day people just wake up and they're just like nuts, right? Like the contractor just decides to wake up and lose their mind. Construction and contractors tend to be one of the most challenging parts of investing at the level that we invest and a lot of people invest in Baltimore, but also just in general. Like if you're trying to put new cabinets in your personal home, chances are your contractor is going to piss you off, right? So I say this as someone who knows that, believes that, has lived that, has literally been ready to, who literally has contractors still to this day will scatter if they see me in public, okay? Because she was one of them. Okay? She was one of them. So being on the other side of the table, here's what I have. Here's the truth. The truth of the matter is, some of y'all are crazy. That's the truth, right? And I mean that some of y'all try to work the system. Some of y'all try to play silly, play dumb, right? Everything makes sense until invoices hit. Everything makes sense until invoices hit, right? I know and understand the process. I know what goes down as an investor and a developer. I know the order of operations. Don't play with me. Don't play. And it's so funny because Baltimore is super small, right? Number one. Number two, I am and always have been and always will be someone who wants to help. And I work with people who want to help. So whether you're talking to myself, our business partner, Khalil, we're always the first ones to like really look for opportunities to help, right? How do we solve this problem? How do we jump in and get things cleaned up and streamlined? Here's some ideas. Let's brainstorm. Everything works and makes sense until invoices hit. And then, and honestly, I don't see this being much of a problem with us for, you know, I'm not saying anyone's perfect, but we really do strive to do the right thing and do the right thing consistently and like all those types of things. But like, as a investor, when we're coming up with solutions and we're talking about the plan, right? If you don't know from your own experience how things work from beginning to end and all the steps, you should be taking advice from the people doing the work. Because when you don't, and things happen in the way in which your contractor tells you they're going to happen, don't turn around and look at us crazy about a change order. Because I told you so that we didn't have to do the change order, right? Remember, when you are working with construction, and this is me putting on my like investor, mentor, coach hat, right? When you're working with and choosing construction contractors, you are constantly negotiating between three things. You're constantly negotiating between three things. That is the cost, right? Money, the quality of work, and the time it takes to complete the project. When you're working with a contractor, you are constantly negotiating between the cost of the project, the quality of work, and the time it takes to complete the job. You, as the investor, as the developer, as the person who is hiring the company, are trying to decide between what is the most important when you have to choose two out of those three things. You most likely will not get all three. You either get someone cheap, right? You get high quality and it's done on time. I'm sorry. If you get someone that's cheap, and you give up the cost, cost is really important to you. Sorry, I'm driving, thinking, talking, and I'm pissed off about something at the same time. If price is important to you, you want to hire somebody who is cheap. You want to save money. That means you need to give up either time, it's going to take you longer to complete the project, or quality, right? The work's going to look a little bit janky, right? Or if you're flipping a project and you know that you need to have a high quality job completed and you need it done on time because flips, you're chasing the clock for money, then you need to pay more. You have to give up price. You got to pay more so that you can have high quality and you can have things done on time. All right. So when you are paying someone to do a job, right, at high quality and a reasonable amount of time, you need to allow them to do that. So when you as the investor get in the way, don't listen to advice and don't have the expertise to be able to navigate what that means, right? And so someone says, oh, you know, I see your plan and your scope, you want to do X, Y, and Z. I really recommend you to do A, B, and C. I know you want to do X, Y, and Z. You really should do A, B, and C. Because if you don't, and we do X, Y, and Z, these are the things that can happen, and then we're going to have to do a change order. And the first thing we want to do as investors is be pissed about a change order. But I told you that from the jump, right? Like, we can, as investors, can really make the process a hell of a lot smoother and really ease a lot of the pressure when it comes to working with contractors if we listen, right? And doesn't mean trust without verifying, but listen and then understand that you are negotiating between those three things: price, quality, and time. If you go on nickel and dime, it's going to take longer to get the project done. If when I send you an invoice, you suddenly, your phone's dead, your inbox is full, and you don't have access to your email, your project's going to take longer to complete it. Like, it is very, 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 very interesting to be on the other side of the table with a lot of people. It is. It is. Because as investors and as someone who did this for the last however many years, I'm the first to be like, contractors are nuts. They're crazy, right? They're nuts. I pay them too much money. You get on my nerves. Why isn't anybody here on site today? Where's the materials? Why did I give you so much up front just for you to right? That was me. But now on the other side, y'all be playing. Y'all play entirely too much. Entirely too much. Entirely too much. And now I have to be the let's get it together girl. Every single time. They also see a black woman, they want to take back. So here's the thing about that. Yes, they want to take good thing you're knowledgeable and know how to not be played. Yeah, for sure. And that's the case. I think that's what made me very tough on job sites, is because I'm 5'2", right? I'm a woman and I'm black, which means that I have to give the play with me if you want to. And I do. And I'm also super playful. So once we get through the whole, you know, like, don't get it twisted, then we can kiki and have a great time all day long. I'm a lot of fun. But don't play with me, right? As an investor and as a developer, on the construction side, I step in when there's a problem for the most part, to be honest. So I'm still the don't play with me girl on that side, to be clear. It's not always a contract. Exactly. It's not always a contractor. Sometimes you guys have unrealistic expectations. Your budget is trash. Your scope of work is missing everything. And you cause more issues than not. And it creates issues on the construction side because we have not only your job, but everything else. And it's not like, you know, I think we also assume that we're all getting robbed by contractors, and that's not always the case either. You absolutely have to sometimes have to prove yourself over and over again when you're working with different folks, for sure. But as on the contractor side, and as someone, as you know, who on here has talked about, you know, squaring up with contractors in the middle of the street in Baltimore, and like, what you want to do because I said what I said, or have somebody late. I've had electricians running late to projects, giving me a whole bunch of bull about why they can and can't do something, and I did the shit myself. Now, mind you, I was only inserting the cans for recessed lighting, but I was damn sure on that ladder when they walked in the door. I can give all the energy on the investor side, but I'm telling you, on the contractor side, a lot of y'all are full of crap. Y'all are asking for stuff that doesn't make sense. Your budget doesn't work. Your timeline is unreasonable because you're not holding up your end of the bargain, because the second the invoice comes out, you want to disappear. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. And a lot of contractors are not set up to be your line of credit. So unless you have a 2 or 3K loan or something like that, where the contractor assumes that they're going to be floating your job, you're playing, and not only with the contractor, but you're playing with the future of your project. Because once you start creating habits like that, if you can't pay on time, why should I complete work on time? Is what a lot of contractors definitely say. And then when you hold them up on your job, then they are going to move on to other jobs, be less likely to come back to yours. And now people, like a lot of contractors, they are moving money and doing all that kind of stuff, which creates the problem in the first place. And then when you finally pay, you're pissed because the work's not actually getting done. So I am going to hold myself accountable when I'm talking about contractors and the energy that I'm bringing to that conversation. I'm also going to bring the energy to check you, to say, what did you do to cause the situation as well? Because it is a two-way street, and I'm telling you, let me not get in trouble. Have Khalil call me while I'm on live for talking too much. Some of y'all, you're the problem. For sure. For sure. Like, all the back and forth, all the BS, the lying, all that kind of stuff. You're the problem. 100%. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So please, 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 let's keep it cute and make sure we're holding ourselves accountable to say there are 3 things that you're negotiating as an investor. This is me putting my coach hat on and not the construction one. You're negotiating between 3 things. That is the cost, the money, the time it takes to complete the project, and the quality of the project. Those are the 3 things you're negotiating when you're choosing a contractor and figuring out what's the most important to you when you're hiring a contractor, okay? Then your job is to set clear expectations, right? So you understand your scope. What kind of work do you want done? What's the materials you want? Child, I got off on the wrong exit. Y'all got me lost on 695. Fix it, Jesus. Where am I? No, I know where I am, but I definitely got off on the wrong exit. So you're choosing between those things, but your job as the investor, as the owner, as the owner's rep, is to make sure that the contractor has what they need. What do they need? They need to fully understand what your scope of work is, right? They need to be paid on time for work completed. They need timely responses to questions when things come up. And they need you to be freaking reasonable. If you didn't respond to the email, listen to the advice, take the feedback, and now you have a change order, hush and pay it. That's on you. That's on you, because if you knew what you were doing, you'd be swinging the hammers yourself, and you're not. So like the fact that somebody got me so irritated that I have to, and it's not even somebody, it's people, have me so irritated that I'm on here defending contractors after years and years of saying that I will fight you. I don't care if you are 257 pounds, 6'2", I will square up in the middle of the street on Broadway. So the fact that I am this fired up today is wild, because it's one thing after another, and it's in the same vein of knowing that people are not taking accountability for themselves. They're making me do work that I don't want to do. I got other things to do. I have other companies to run. So if I have to sit here and go back and forth with you on email, on text messages, on phone calls for you to do the stuff that you knew you were supposed to do when you hired us in the first place, because you knew we completed the work already being done, why are you playing with me? I am not the one to play with. Period, point blank, and that is it. That is it. Okay? So let's hold ourselves accountable. Yes. Okay? Not all contractors are great, but they're not all bad. Sometimes the problem is in the mirror. Can we talk about it? Sometimes the problem is in the mirror. Okay? Because you was happy when the drywall was being put up, but now your phone is dead. You lost it in the bottom of the harbor. Your phone done sunk to the bottom of the harbor the day the invoice came out. We're not playing them games. We're not playing those games. Come on. Let's be freaking for real. Be freaking for real. Oh, nice meeting you too. Sorry for you catching me on the day that I'm on fire a little bit, but when you catch my lives, here's the thing for the new followers. I usually go live when I have a rant on my spirit. Okay, so these lives are typically rants. They are unscripted. It's just a little something on my heart that I decide I just need to get off. And I was trying to do this before I make a phone call. I did actually accidentally get off on the Towson exit, to be honest. The 3 things is you're negotiating with a contractor on the time it takes to complete the project, the cost of the project, and the quality of the work. So price, quality, and time. And you can only choose 2 as being your priorities. So if you know that your money's a little funny, right? You don't have the cash. You need to do something that is on the cheaper side. You know, you really ain't got it like that, but you know you got to get the work. That means that you have to give up either time, it's going to take a long time to complete the project, or quality. The types of materials and the finishing and all that kind of stuff isn't going to be as great. So if you know that price is really important, then you're going to have to give up either quality or time. If you know that you have to have a really, really strong project, the quality has to be really good, you don't have a lot of time to be playing around with people, you need to be willing to pay more. Your budget has to be higher. Those are your top dollar type folks that you're going to have to deal with. Right? If you're okay for it to take a long time, but you know, you still want pretty good quality, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, right? You're gonna have to balance. You give up time, and then quality and price are more important. So maybe you pay a little bit less, get better quality, so that you can complete the project on time. So your 3 things that you're negotiating between is your price, your quality, and time when it comes to contractors. On the contractor side, you need to have a realistic scope of work, a realistic budget. The less realistic your scope of work is, the more contingency you need to have in your budget, because that's when change orders and stuff like that come into play, because your scope of work missed stuff. And sometimes that's in your control and sometimes it's not. And you need to be paying your invoice on time. Money flows the project. If you're not paying timely, you cannot expect timely work. Because who's finna pay for that? Not me. I'm not paying for your project, because let's be honest, I could probably do your project multiple times over and better. Sorry, that wasn't nice. So anyway, that's how I'm feeling today. I hope y'all have a great day. Watch the replay. Bye.